Good evening. I'm your old friend Madan Singh and दोस्तों मैं आपके साथ बात करने वाला हूं about Operation Sindoor and its political aims. Now this is very important because we must remember that the political aim is an extension of the military aim. In fact, military aim supports the political aim. So the question we have to ask, what was the political aim of Operation Sindoor? That's number one. And whether that aim was achieved or not. Now, these are very important questions. You can't brush it under the carpet and say, well, we won the war or we had the better of the exchanges and we downed so many planes of Pakistan and they downed so many. I mean, this is irrelevant talk. The battle actually lasted just 4 days, and both the countries then decided that enough is enough and a ceasefire was effected. Whether it was due to the pressure of Donald Trump or not is again immaterial. The fact is that the Indian military and the Pakistan military decided to disengage. Now, India has been touting a lot of things. Narendra Modi has said that this operation is paused. But in the various other resolutions which have been passed in the various conferences which India has gone and attended, there are lines that no country will violate the rights of another country by force or any other means. And if that is taken into consideration, I don't think Operation Sindoor, which has supposed to be paused, can start again. Now let's look at what were the political aims of Operation Sindoor. The first and foremost was to try and declare Pakistan as a terrorist state and bring to the attention of the world that look, Pakistan had carried out the massacre in Pahalgam. We have reacted and the world must now condemn Pakistan for terrorist acts. Well, I'm afraid this was a total failure. India went for the BRICS meeting, but again, despite the maximum pressure by Narendra Modi to include Pakistan as a terrorist state, it didn't happen. Then Jai Shankar had gone for the foreign ministers meeting for the Quad conference in Washington, and there also he brought up this point of terrorism, and of course everybody condemned the Pahalgam massacre, but nobody was prepared to associate Pakistan with this. So in other words, not a single country in the world has blamed Pakistan for the terrorist acts in Kashmir. Now that I would say is a big failure of Indian diplomacy and the military attack which was carried out. And secondly, there are many people I think who have been feeling that India did not do the right thing by attacking Pakistan after the Pahalgam massacre. Many are of the view that India should have looked inwards first to find out who are the perpetrators of this massacre and who are the supporters of the Kashmir Valley and dealt with them before jumping to a conclusion at attacking Pakistan. The Indians claim that they only attacked the terrorist camps. Fair enough, I agree with it. But Pakistan didn't feel that way and they attacked the Indian airfields. And there was no choice for India but to attack the Pakistan airfields. Probably this attack would have gone out of hand till sanity prevailed and everything simmered down. So the thing which happens is, firstly, that Pakistan not declared as a terrorist state by a single country in the world, and not many are feeling justified of India's action. No country condemned Pakistan for anything, and no country came to India's support once they had launched their attack on the terrorist centers in Pakistan. The only country which came to India's support was Israel and then Afghanistan, which India does not recognize. I think Russia has recognized the Taliban regime now, and the first country to do so. So now let's come to the further political aims. Now, after this attack, Would Pakistan stop their terrorist activities in Kashmir? Your guess is as good as mine, because this attack was not the type which could have destroyed Pakistan, and it was just something touching the icing, and that's not going to stop Pakistan from fomenting further terrorism in the Kashmir Valley. For the simple reason that they have got a lot of support there. So, gentlemen, my point again is this: the purpose of a military campaign is to destroy the enemy's potential to harm you. This again is not success. Pakistan is still live and thriving, and it is going around saying that Kashmir is Indian occupied and lots of atrocities are being committed by the Indians in the Kashmir Valley. Now, the question again is, why are the local Kashmiris not supporting India? That's because of the various policies which have been put into force by the Indian government from the time of Nehru. And I think, in a way, they have rubbed off on Modi. Is not able to shake off the shackles and do something which will uh, put India's case on a strong wicket in Kashmir, like changing the demographic composition. Well, that is the way China deals with the minorities, and that's how where the Pakistanis also do the same thing. But India doesn't do it, and that is the problem. And so the Indian image outside is that of a soft state. Recently, one of our famous ambassadors to America, who's retired now, has said that Donald Trump does not consider India to be a power equivalent to China or Russia. And you can see his treatment of India and China and Russia along versus India. Whereas he regularly talks to Putin, he talks to the Chinese leader, President Xi. He rarely talks to the Indian Prime Minister, and probably just treats him as, one of those small time leaders. That is because of the image which India has created, not being decisive. Now, if India is to really stop Pakistan from any terrorist activity, they have to pulverize Pakistan like the Israelis have done to Hamas. Now, that is not possible with the present military strength which we have. So it means we have to build up a military and a budget of at least $300 billion, three times of what we are doing now, to overwhelm Pakistan. Even then, it's not going to be a cakewalk because Pakistan is a nuclear armed state. But at the same time, if India has to do something, we have to pulverize Pakistan, which India didn't do and they could not do. And so, somehow, I feel this attack on Pakistan, that is Operation Sindoor, was a futile exercise. It led to nothing, and India stood in the dock as the aggressor. Now, that is also a fact. Many countries were of the view that India acted in haste, should not have started the war with Pakistan, and there are many who feel that if India was winning, then where the question arose of a ceasefire? Why did India accept it? And you say the operation is paused. But I can tell you it will remain paused for months together. India is not going to open up to Pakistan and start attacking again. So one should be very clear in military terminology as to what should be done. Unfortunately, India again is faulting there. And part of the fault lies with the political leadership and partly with the army. The army has been unable to pressurize the government into anything. We have a set of generals sitting at the top who talk a lot when they come on internet after they are retired, but when they were in service, they did nothing. It is a matter of great surprise to me that so many senior generals who for so many years were chiefs of staffs and chief of the defense staff did not even once realize till 1962 that the biggest danger we faced was from China. And wrong advice was given to Pandit Nehru by the IB chief, Mr. Malik. And when the attack came from China, the Indian army was found sleeping. So, gentlemen, I'm talking on so many things at the moment, but basically, again, coming on to Operation Sindoor, I think it would have been better if India had noted that. You may have killed some terrorists, but you haven't broken the backbone of the Pakistan terrorist organizations. Pakistan is still harping on them, and though they are facing a terrorist activity from the Taliban and the Baluch Liberation Army, the fact remains that Pakistan still remains a country which can create a lot of trouble for India. Another of the political aims is supposed to be a side issue to the military aim, but that perhaps India would like to take back Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and the liberation fight in Baluchistan would gather momentum. I'm afraid nothing has happened. I don't think India is in a position ever to take back POK. I mean, this is a realization which India should get and not keep making bombastic statements that we will take back POK. Talking and doing is two different things. And even now, I will say that India doesn't have the capacity even to take back Aksai Chin from China. And why then are we showing Aksai Chin in India's maps? This is food for thought. If you want a border settlement with China, you've got to give a lot more to China than just platitudes. So, gentlemen, Operation Sindoor, in my view, whoever thought about it didn't plan it properly. The political aim was not kept in mind. It was not achieved. Nothing was achieved. And ultimately, we are back to square one. Nobody knows really who won. A couple of Indian planes have finally been admitted by the government, and the Air Force have been shot down. And this is unpardonable because the planes cost millions of dollars. And if we have lost four or five, I don't know how many we have lost. I won't make a guess. But though I have some inside information, I wouldn't like to divulge it here. So the question is, was it worth it? This is a question for the readers to answer. I think I will close now and say goodbye, God bless. And if you like this channel, please subscribe it, comment, share it with your friends, and take care of yourself. Goodbye and Jai.